Hello students, welcome back. In last few lectures we completed the theories of international trade. Into that we already discussed the absolute cost theory of international trade and comparative cost theory of international trade. So students, in today's session we are going to discuss on the modern theory of international trade. So this theory, modern theory of international trade, is also known as the Heckscher-Ohlin theorem, or we can say it as a Heckscher-Ohlin theory of international trade. So the meaning of international trade, which we already discussed, so we just going through it. The international trade, the exchange of capital, goods and services across international borders is called international trade. So already we discussed, when there is a transaction, there is an exchange of goods and services between a different countries, or we can say across the international borders, then we called it as a international trade. So the exchange of capital, goods and services across the international border, then we called it as a international trade. The exchange of goods and services along international border is called international trade. So in another word we can say exchange of goods and services along international borders, then we can call it as a international trade. So modern theory of international trade is also called as theory of factor endowment. So keep in mind that the modern theory of international trade is also known as theory of factor endowments. So in objective it may be asked that what is the another name of international trade. So we can say the modern theory, another name of theory of international trade or modern theory of international trade. So it also known as a theory of factor endowment. So Heckscher and Ohlin theory, given by Swedish economist Illy Heckscher and Bertil Ohlin, is an extension of theory of comparative advantage. So this theory is not total new theory, it is an extension of comparative theory of international trade. So in comparative theory we already seen that in comparative the two products is compare each other in a country, and the more profitable product is going to be focused, and that product is exported, and the product which is less profitable, that is imported from another country. So this theory is nothing but only the extension of comparative advantage theory of international trade. So this theory introduces a second factor of production, that is capital. So in comparative advantage theory, there was only one factor of production, that was labor. But in this theory given by Heckscher and Ohlin, there are two factors of production. The second factor that is introduced by this theory is capital, and first was labor. So in this theory there are considered two factors of production. The first one is labor and second one is capital. So this theory is also states that comparative advantage occurs from differences in factor endowments between the countries. So in comparative cost advantage there is only given the explanation of comparative of two products, and there is a comparison of two countries. But in this theory there is an explanation why it occurs is given in the modern, or we can say Heckscher-Ohlin theory. So in this theory there is a reason behind that, that is the factor endowment. So there is a comparison, there is a comparative advantage to a country due to the factor endowments between the countries. So in previous few slides there was a word factor endowment. So what it means? The factor endowment means it refers to the amount of resources such as land, labor and capital available to a country. So factor endowments, in another word we can say availability of factors of production. So those factors and land, labor, capital. So if particular country has ample availability of factors of production like land, labor and capital, so that availability is known as a factor endowment. So availability of sufficient resources, availability of sufficient factor of production in a good quantity, so then we called it as a factor endowment. So every country has different factor endowments, thus the cost of these factors differs depending upon their availability. So availability of resources and the cost of these resources is related to the factor endowment. So this theory according to Heckscher and Olin, so this photo is of Heckscher and he is Bertin Olin. So these two has given the theory of Heckscher-Olin theory, which is the extension of comparative cost advantage theory of international trade. In this theory, the two factors were focused by this theory. So those factors were labor and capital. So in absolute cost theory and in comparative cost theory, there was only one factor of production, that was labor, but this theory they were focused on two factors, that is labor and capital. So a national exports the commodity whose production requires the abundant factors intensively, and imports the commodity whose production is intensive in the scarce factors of the country. So this is the factor endowment theory, or we can say this is the reason behind the import and export, or reason behind the comparative cost advantage. So nation export the commodity, a country export those commodity which production requires the abundant factor intensively. So and the imports the commodity whose production is intensive in the scarce factors of the country. So we can say the theory laid that the country export a product which has the abundant production of a product into country, and import a product which has scarce production factors available in the country. So in short, the country import a product which they have a scarce resources, due to which they cannot produce that product in a economy of scale, and export a product which they can produce in a bulk quantity and which has economy of scale. So in that case they have a profit instead of importing that product. So that is the theory of Heckscher and Olin. So factor abundance, the 2 by 2 by 2 model of two countries, two commodities and two factors model implies that capital rich country will export capital intensive commodity, and the labor rich country will export labor incentive commodity. So this model we can also known as 2 by 2 by 2 model. So 2 is two factors, to another two product and two countries. So the country export a product which has capital intensive commodity, and import a product labor in. So if US is a capital intensive country, then they can export a capital intensive product, and if India is a labor intensive country, then India can export a labor intensive product to the US and import a product from US which of capital intensive. So there is an exchange. So US import a product from India which is labor intensive, and export a product to India which is capital intensive. So if it is a US and India, so US export capital intensive product and import labor intensive products. Same, import India import capital incentive product and India export labor incentive product. So this is the theory of Heckscher and Olin. So this theory has some assumptions. So the first assumption is two nations. So as we discussed, 2 by 2 by 2 model. So there is a two nations, then two commodities and two factors of production, that is labor and capital. So both nations use the same technology in production. The another assumption, the technology of manufacturing is the same. Then another assumption is commodity X is labor intensive and Y is capital intensive in both the nations. So both nations use the same technology in production, means they produce a product by using a general production technique. So same techniques is implemented by the both the countries. The commodity X is labor intensive and Y is the capital intensive in both nations. So as we discussed in last slide, the India export labor intensive and import capital incentive. So this situation is same for both the countries. The next assumption is both commodities are produced under constant returns to scale in both nations. So the cost of productions, or we can say the economy of scale, is under the scale, or is a economy of scale. So both amount of land will increase output in the same proportion. So there is a same proportion. Suppose one country is investing 1 rupees, then they getting the 7 rupees in return. Same thing is applicable for both product. So there is economy of scale. There is a economy of scale in both the product. There is incomplete specialization in production in both nations. So in a Heckscher-Ohlin theory, it means there is a incomplete specialization. That means even with free trade, both nations continue to produce both commodities. This implies neither nation is very small. So if there is a free trade, there is no any production for any product in any country or between these two countries, then also they will continue to produce the same product. Then taste are equal in both nations. So there is no different taste habits. So tastes are same for that product in both the countries. Then there is perfect competition in both commodities and factor markets in both nations. So in a product there is a perfect competition. So means there is a free entry, free exit, there is a homogeneous of product in both the countries. So there are some conditions for perfect competition. So both the country will match with perfect competition. Then there is perfect factor mobility within each nation, but no international factor mobility. So within a country they can mobile the factors. There is a mobility of factors of production, but they are immobile in importing countries. So factor of production are mobile, or there is a mobility in factor of production within a country, but those factors are immobile in another country. The next assumption, there are no transportation cost, tariffs or other obstructions to the free flow of international trade. So we can say there is a free trade. In short, there is a free trade. There is no any protection on a import and export of those products. Then all resources are fully employed in both nations. So there is no any idle resources. Whatever resources they have, they will employed in both nations. Then international trade between the two nations is balanced. So there is a balance of trade in both the countries. So now we'll discuss on explanation. We already discussed the theory of Heckscher-Ohlin. Suppose a nation 1 is labor abundant and nation 2 is capital abundant nation. So let production of product X be labor intensive and the product Y is capital intensive. The production PPF shows in following figure show the maximum limit of production of X and Y possible with given resources. Suppose this one is a nation 1 and this one is a nation 2. So suppose nation 1 is producing a product X and nation Y is producing a product Y. So due to the comparative cost, due to the capital endowment, the nation 1 will produce this much of extra product to export to the nation Y, and there is a production of Y to in this quantity to export to the nation 1. So this is a point where there is a balance of trade of both the countries. So we can say this is a production frontiers of nation 1 and nation 2 for a product X and product Y. So this is what a theory of Heckscher and Ohlin. The next point, limitations of theory. The theory hold good if the capital abundant country has a distinct preference for the labor intensive goods and the labor abundant country has a distinct preference for capital incentive goods. So there is a controversy that the country A is preference for the labor intensive goods and the labor abundant country has a distinct preference for capital incentive goods. So generally it doesn't happens. Again the theory does not hold good if the labor abundant country is technological advanced in capital intensive goods or if capital abundant economy is technologically abundant in the production of labor incentive goods. So these are two limitations under the theory of Heckscher and Ohlin. So students, today we discussed on the Heckscher-Ohlin theory of international trade. If you have any questions, any query, you can contact me on our group. Thank you.